I guess I struck a chord. So last week, my video, I talked about an issue. Now let's just go ahead and call it selling a house while black. Hey, this week, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue with that subject, and I'm going to issue a challenge. This week is the most provocative thing I think I've ever done. So there are 3 major real estate organizations out there representing African Americans, Hispanics, and Asian Americans. And I issue a challenge to these organizations to do something that has never been done. Now, I can remember a day, and I don't know if they still do it, and if they are not, I'd be surprised, where there were nonprofits that went around and took 2 fictitious candidates to, let's say, rent a house or rent an apartment. One a minority and one Caucasian. What they would do is they would take these 2 candidates. They could be exactly the same. They could have gone to the same college. They could be the same age, have the same job. Everything about them economically is the same. And then they would go to different apartment managers and look for an apartment. Now, if you look at some of these reports, they would go there and let's say the minority candidate would show up and all of a sudden there are no apartments. And then the Caucasian applicant would show up and mysteriously there's an apartment. Or if the African American candidate would show, maybe they would show them the apartment or put in all these unreasonable demands. But those same demands didn't apply to other people. Or they would both get an application, and inevitably certain people would get that apartment. And then they would be called out. Power that continues to go unchecked, you know what happens when that happens. That's why we have issues that we have in our country now, when power goes unchecked. Someone has to finally call this out. Since the time I did that video, another article came out about an African American professional and the problems they were having and how they were treated. I'm going to link that article below, and I want you to read that. There should be outrage in this country. We live in 2021. We're 150 years removed from the Civil War, and we need to move past these things. There are those who always want to talk about moving past things, but they don't seem to want to move past things. So there's a way to move past things by getting rid of people who want to keep things down, because generational wealth is one of the most important things that we have. When we take the sale of a home or passing that home down to our families, that value is what creates our wealth. If I could sell a home for $300,000 when that's passed down to me, that creates something for me and it creates something for my children. But if I can only sell that house for $200,000 or $150,000, what has that done to me? And what has that done throughout the generations? So if we have one section or segment and we allow this to continue to happen, and we have these organizations that are supposed to represent our different segments of our society, Asian Americans, African Americans, Hispanics, what are we saying? Why are we not calling this out? So I issue a challenge today to these organizations to create arms to do this. Maybe we have to list homes, and maybe it's not clear cooperation. I don't know. Maybe we have to work with NAR to say these are exceptions. That yes, these homes don't really exist and really cannot be for sale. But this is a honey trap. I mean, you have bait cars. Cops set out cars just to be stolen because, hey, just because a car's door is unlocked doesn't mean you can get in it and drive off. Just because a house is out there doesn't mean you can undervalue it by $100,000 and steal wealth from a family. This, I say, should be done now. Because we're tired. We're sick and tired of having our wealth stolen from us. This is for everyone. Can you imagine your wealth being stolen from you? Can you imagine someone just coming into your house and stealing from you? That is what they're doing every time they undervalue your house. So this is the challenge I issue. And I hope someone listens today. So share this video with everyone that you know. And if you like the content that I'm putting out there, I know this one may be a little more provocative than most. Go ahead and like this video. Comment below if you believe that people deserve a right to have all of their home value. And of course, subscribe to this channel. And of course, I got this next video coming up for you guys. See you later.